Welcome back everybody, this is Tyler Weeb from ProPhysique, and in today's video we're going to talk about how long should your prep be. Alright, welcome back everybody. I hope you all had a fantastic week. A little late on the video this week, but I was in Tampa hanging out with the ProPhysique crew and it was such a fun weekend. Got some awesome pictures done. We were at the Tampa Pro, we hung out. Just a fun week overall, although it's always good to be back home. So, today's video I wanted to talk about how long should your prep be. Now, a lot of times you're going to see those 12-week preps, 12 weeks transformations, and people just go absolutely crazy kind of for 12 weeks, step on stage, and then that's kind of it. And that does seem to be the norm, or at least was the norm. I think there is starting to be a shift here in the thinking and the way we go about things, although those quick 12-week preps are definitely still a normal thing. So how long should a prep be? Well, ideally, we do actually want to have a longer prep, especially longer than something like 12 weeks. Now, there's quite a few reasons why we want to have that longer prep. And they can be a lot more beneficial for the competitor who's going to be stepping on stage. So, one of the reasons that we do a longer prep is to preserve lean body mass. So, as we diet down, as calories go lower, as cardio gets higher, you are going to have some loss of lean body mass, loss of muscle, and for the competitor, that's not good. We want to try and maintain as much muscle as we can. Now, there is going to be varying amounts, obviously, depending on what you are doing. So a bodybuilder, we definitely want a lot more muscle to hold on to than, say, a bikini competitor. Muscle is still important for both of them, but the amount and the look is going to be a lot different. Now, their preps are probably still going to be roughly the same amount, but that's the whole point, is to allow the most amount of lean body mass to stay on. Now, no matter what you do, you're probably still going to lose a little bit, just because, again, of how little you'll be eating, how lean you will be, and how much cardio you're doing. But if we can limit that as much as we can, that's going to be beneficial for the athlete. So, longer prep, 20 to 30 weeks, I think right in there is usually a really good spot to be in, depending on how much body fat they have to lose, how much muscle they have, how long is their competition season, stuff like that, are going to play some roles into kind of deciding how long we take. But that's one of the reasons right there, is we need to try and maintain as much lean body mass as possible for that person stepping on stage. All right, so that's one reason. Another reason is you can never be ready too early / something might go wrong during prep. So unfortunately, life does not stop just because you started prep, right? So if we can have a bit of a longer prep, let's say 24, 25 weeks right in there, even 20 weeks again, depending on how lean that person is when they start prep, that gives us ample amount of time to get ready. So let's say, the worst happens, right? Something happens in your life and, get 2 weeks kind of gets thrown off. Well, because we started so early, and if we made, really good progress, let's say, for 5, 6, 7 weeks, and all of a sudden kind of we have this 2 weeks where something out of our control happens, well, it's not the greatest thing to, to take off. And we're obviously going to do our best to stay on point with our prep. But if we have a few days there where it's just things are just out of our control and we just, eat more food, can't train, can't do our cardio. Well, because we started so early and maybe we made such good progress that, yeah, we might have to push the last few weeks to kind of get back to where we were to make up time, but we've given ourselves that amount of time to be able to do that, right? Now, if we start early and things go perfect, it's a great prep, we're losing weight, well, that gives us an opportunity to have a few different options for us as we get closer to stage. So we can either have mock peak weeks, right? So we can see how the body is going to react during peak week, and then that can allow us to maybe potentially make changes for the real peak week. 2, we can have diet breaks. So diet breaks, those can definitely help with the retention of lean body mass. And I guess that could be a sub reason why we do a longer prep, because then that does give us the opportunity to have things like diet breaks, which can help with some of the metabolic adaptations to dieting. And 3, maybe we can get ready early. Let's say we're ready, 3 weeks before the show. Hey, like that's fantastic. Like, let's reverse it to the show. And that's gonna help you fill out a bit more going into that show. So those are all options that can be afforded to us if we, if we have that longer prep, right? That's another really good reason why we want to extend prep and have it a little bit longer. And then I would say a third reason is just being able to manage stress, right? Prep's already hard as it is, and it can be stressful, right? Like you still gotta function throughout your normal life while being really tired, very hungry, lots of carbs, and spending a lot of time in the gym, right? And so stress is just naturally gonna get a little bit higher the deeper we go into prep. And if we have to, do 12 weeks, well, I mean, that's just a whole lot of stress over 12 weeks to your whole prep, where if you can start earlier, well, we've managed stress like we can get ahead of the game and we can manage stress a lot easier and come into the last, 8, 9, 10 weeks or, 7 weeks and in a good position where we're not having to like rush and drop a bunch of weight and, have that super high stress, which is going to increase cortisol levels and just really mess with the body when we're trying to drop body fat. So that would be another fantastic reason to have a longer prep. So, as you can see, like, there's a lot of reasons, 3 big ones, and then they kind of extrapolate, into a bunch of like small things where, okay, like if we have a longer prep, we can do this, we can do that, we can do, these type of things that allow us to be a lot more successful, for that stepping on stage. And at the end of the day, that is the end goal. And so we want to make sure that we are doing everything possible to make sure that we are bringing the best package possible. And that allows, okay, if we have to push back the show a little bit, we can do different kind of shows because we've had diet breaks, so mentally maybe we're not as run down because of the diet breaks. You're getting a little more food that week, dropping the cardio a little. This allows to not have to slash calories a ton right away. You can have a little more conservative approach where, hey, maybe the first 10 weeks, it's definitely a lot more like enjoyable than the last 10 weeks where we're still, eating a decent amount of food and not doing a ton of cardio because we've started, so far back from the show that we can kind of have those conservative increments of like, decreasing food, increasing cardio. And it's not like you have to go from 0 to 100 and just go. And then again, I think also a longer prep does allow for a bit better of a transition out of the show. If you go 12 weeks hard or 10 weeks hard, and you just got to go, slashing calories, up in the cardio like crazy, again, we kind of come back to that stress and mental side of it where like you have been super stressed this whole prep, for 10, 12 weeks, whatever, and you're just ready to go. You're ready to binge. And that's definitely a thing, right? Is trying to control that post-show binge and not, come out of it just going absolutely crazy. And I think a longer prep can help with that because, like, you have those conservative approaches to it that allow, hopefully, everyone is a little bit different, that hunger and the high cardio doesn't really come in for the last few weeks. Now, again, everyone's different, and at the end of the day, the goal is just to get on stage and do well and bring your best package possible. And so sometimes you do need to do whatever it takes. But again, I think a longer prep can be a little bit more beneficial to that end. So that's gonna be everything for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll chat again soon.